All right, I am live again. Sorry for that. I was interrupted by something. I had to take care of some business, but I'm back, and now it's time to discuss this. So let me do a sound check. Okay, 1 second. Hello. 1 second. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay. So hopefully you guys are having a good time. I know it's been about a month since you guys have heard from me. I've been just been chilling. Just relaxing a little bit. Um, Obviously, I guess now and because the news of Microsoft buying Bethesda is not new. Obviously, this was something that happened. I want to say late last year, where news came out that they had bought Bethesda, and it was obviously it's a big deal. Now, not for me personally because I don't play Bethesda games, but when it comes to obviously with the amount of games that they have, a lot of the big IPs that they make, it's a big deal. Obviously, so while it doesn't affect me personally, there's no denying that's a huge deal, right? So Microsoft buys Bethesda, and the deal is now been finalized, and now there's been growing talk about whether or not the main talk is whether or not these games are going to be on PlayStation, and that's what I'm here to talk about. And I'm here to even refer to a comment that Phil Spencer made. So yeah, so to start off, for anyone saying that it's it's cut and dry that that Bethesda games are not coming out on PlayStation, you guys are full of shit. I just hate to say it, you guys are full of shit. Now, obviously, we do know there's a couple games that are right now that are coming out, but that's the game that are coming out on PlayStation first. Apparently, obviously you have Deathloop, a game that I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it looks. And there's another one that I'm trying to get the name of right now. Um, Ghostwire Tokyo. That game is also a Bethesda game. Well, it's a partner. It's a game partnered. It's a Bethesda property. That's also going to be coming out on PlayStation first, and then coming out later on other platforms. So you had that. Plus, I mean, over the years, Microsoft has shown more so than the other two companies by a country mile that they're willing to put their games on other platforms. You know what I mean? Like you have obviously Cuphead is on Switch and PlayStation. The original uh will what's that game called? Ori Will of the Wisp, right? That game's on PlayStation. That game's on the Switch, and Microsoft spent $2.5 billion on Minecraft, and that game and the latest version of that game is on multiple platforms. So like it's not outside of the realm of possibility to think that that a game from Bethesda could come out on PlayStation. It's not outside the realm of possibility. So for those of you who are saying otherwise or are kind of like dunking on PlayStation fans or whatever, you guys are full of it. You guys are full of it. Like it's not a guarantee that you will never see Bethesda game on PlayStation ever again, right? Now, let me discuss it. I'm gonna do a screen share, and hopefully it'll work better this time around. Um, okay, screen share. Pretty much I'm gonna read verbatim the comment that Phil Spencer made because I had a hard time doing that before. It should be you should see it right here. All right. All right. So okay, so I am on Eurogamer right now. Right. Let me wait to scroll up. My PC slow. All right, fuck it. Let me see. Something going on? Okay, we're all right. We're good. We're good. All right. So here's what Spill Spencer said. You can find this comment. You can find the video of his comment on Twitter. So it's so if you don't like my reading, you can watch the video there. Right. So this is Spill Spencer's quote. Right. Obviously, I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game isn't Xbox exclusive because we know that's not true. Pretty much, pretty much talking about PlayStation. Um, their contractual obligation that we're going to see through. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go and support those games on the platform they're on. Right? Their communities of players. We love those communities, and we will continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be. Excuse me, sorry about that. All right. Even in the future, there might be either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go do. Right. Let me scroll down. But if you are an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to is is this is about delivering great games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. That's an important point. There's an important point here, right? Oh, where am I at? Where am I at? Okay. Okay. All right. So the thing I want you to know is that is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. Like I said, it's important. Building in the creative capability where we'll be able to bring to market the Xbox to customers is going to be the best it's ever been for Xbox after we're done here. Now, it is important to note that the main thing that he wants to do, and this is obvious, for anyone who's who knows what they're talking about, it's clear as day what Microsoft's main goal is. Their main goal is to build up Game Pass. Is why they bought Bethesda. Is why they bought all these studios over the past couple years. After the beginning of a generation they had studios in the beginning of the generation, but after you had closures and shutdowns and game franchises that don't see the light of day when it comes to a sequel, they decided, you know what, we'll create Game Pass, and what we want to do what Netflix is doing, constantly creating content, like same all these streaming sites are doing, streaming companies are doing, constantly creating content, right? And that's what Game Pass is. That's what these studios are there for, to constantly create content. So yeah, so that's the most important. That's the thing that has to be said. This is exactly what their goal is, right? To enhance Game Pass. So you have that in play, and I think another thing that I want to make clear here is that he did not say necessarily that these games are going to be exclusive to the console. He didn't say that. He was very clear. He was very careful in saying that, because if because at the end of the day, if you want to say that these games are exclusive to Xbox, that's all you have to say. Say they're exclusive to Xbox. There's a reason why he used Game Pass. There's a reason why. Because at the end of the day, that's their bread and butter, Game Pass. You know what I mean? I know the consoles are important to them. I get that. But Game Pass is their number one priority. Is where they put all their eggs in. That's where they put all their eggs in the basket. Is on Game Pass. So just because he says that they're that the fact that he mentioned Game Pass and not Xbox is pretty much clear to me that it's not a done deal that these games won't be available on PlayStation. Now, I don't think if he had said this, I would have seen the headline. So I'm going to assume he didn't say this. I don't think he ever really mentioned if Bethesda or any type of studio within the whole Bethesda ZeniMax conglomerate has a say on what platform they want to bring the games on. I don't think they do. I don't know if he mentioned if they did or not. But but at the end of the day, we know what Microsoft's plan is, and the question that I have is: Are we are is it over for Bethesda games on PlayStation? And I say no, not because I want the game to be on PlayStation. I frankly I don't give two shits if those games are or are not on PlayStation. I don't care because, like I said, I don't play none of their games, right? But if Microsoft's main goal is to bring Game Pass to to a whole bunch of different platforms, and I'm going to assume that that includes PlayStation. I'm going to assume that they want Game Pass on PlayStation. And if Sony does it, then obviously they're gonna have Bethesda games on there. Obviously, even if they decide, you know what, we don't want Game Pass, but if a game or two, let's say for Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls is a big fucking game. Elder Scrolls is a huge game, right? Do I think that they would just it wouldn't surprise me if the game didn't come out on PlayStation, but if it does, like, would that surprise me also? No, it wouldn't. Yeah, absolutely wouldn't. The next Doom game, right? If Doom comes out and it's only available on Xbox, would it surprise me? No. But if it came out on PlayStation, would that also surprise me? No, it wouldn't. Because again, we have history. History is on my side here. They Microsoft is open to this open platform stuff, which is something that I'm actually not in favor of, and I'll explain that in a second. Like, but they're open to it. Like I gave you the examples earlier. They're absolutely open to it, and if the opportunity presents itself that they're going to put these games on PlayStation, because let's be real here, this is the only thing that Xbox fanboys care about. All they care about is whether or not these games are on PlayStation or not. They clearly, a lot of them clearly don't want that to happen. I've seen a couple of Xbox fanboys, you know, tagging Phil Spencer and Aaron Greenberg, saying that demanding them not to bring these games over to PlayStation, right? And for me personally, like if in a perfect world, like if you ask me, oh, should Bethesda game coming off of purchase from Microsoft, should those games be on PlayStation? Personally, I would have said fuck no. Cause what's the point of buying the studio? You know what I'm saying? Like in a perfect world, I would say that. But with the addition of Game Pass, I like, even if those games come out on PlayStation, the Switch, Stadia, you know what I mean? Like ultimately, I understand why Microsoft is doing it. But as someone who grew up on console gaming, I grew up on console gaming when the only thing that mattered when it came to these closed boxes is the exclusive games, right? We can always bitch and complain about controllers. We can always bitch and complain about design, power, the whole nine yards. But at the end of the day, if your console didn't have the best games, your console ain't worth shit. Let me rephrase. If your console didn't have any good games on it, your console ain't worth shit, right? I will always stand by this, and people can call me whatever the fuck they want to call me, right? At the end of the day, I feel that when it comes to console gaming, and frankly, it doesn't matter if it's first party, second party, or third party. You need exclusive content for me to buy your console. You need exclusive content in order for your console to be compelling, right? Doing all this stuff is nice, boosting, giving a FP boost to games that you should have already played. Hey, listen, that is all well and good. It's all dandy. You know what I mean? Bragging about backwards compatible games and whatnot, that's perfectly fine. You want to talk up, all the cool things that the DualSense controller does, perfectly fine. But none of that shit matters unless you have content that's exclusive to that system. I will always stand by that. I will always stand by that. But so yeah, so do I think that Bethesda games are going to be on PlayStation in a perfect world? I would probably say no. I'll say no. But since the main goal is to elevate Game Pass, and I and if Sony plays ball, more than likely they'll get the game. They'll get the games on there. In my opinion, they'll get the games on there. So and will Xbox fanboys be upset? More than likely, more than likely. But it is what it is. But if you had to ask me if we're ever gonna see Bethesda games after, obviously after Ghostwire and Deathloop, yeah, I still think that we will. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I don't think we'll get it. I don't think PlayStation Gamer will get every game, but the vast majority of games, I think they will. Now, I wanted to mention this um before I go. Right? I wanted to mention this. You know, I do have to say this. In my personal opinion, and this is more to I feel like this is a trend towards mostly Xbox gamers, Xbox fanboys and gamers alike, and more so than even Nintendo. With Miyamoto and Iwata, because at the end of the day, like, even if you don't agree with their methods, I can understand why people love those two guys, right? They created they created classic games, so on and so forth, right? And I don't know if Phil Spencer is a game developer. I don't know if he has a history in game development, but I know damn well that he was not involved in anything close to what Miyamoto's done. Right? It's not a knock on Phil Spencer. It just it's just facts. Right? Not many people have the same legacy as a Miyamoto, or even a Iwata for that example. But the thing with Xbox fanboys that I noticed, and I've noticed this for a long time. I'm just gonna put my voice to it now. Is I personally do feel that the vast majority of Xbox gamers and fanboys, and even some gamers that I like, right? I feel that they care more about Phil Spencer and interacting with Phil Spencer than they do about the games that they get on the Xbox. It's just my opinion, right? I do think that a lot of, and this is the one dangerous thing about what Microsoft has done. And I don't want to make it seem like it's sinister or anything like that in nature or anything like that. But when you have Major Nelson, very very public on Twitter, Aaron Greenberg even more so on Twitter, and obviously you have Phil Spencer when they're in there, they're interacting with gamers and stuff like that. Their interaction is perfectly fine. But we know some Xbox gamers have voiced this in the past, is that it seems to me that a lot of these gamers, mostly Xbox gamers, who are primarily Xbox fans and fanboys, don't tend to criticize Phil Spencer and Microsoft to the same degree that they will do to mainly PlayStation. Let's be real. The only other place they'll criticize is PlayStation. So we know this. It's natural, you know what I mean. If you're going to be a lot more harsh on the competing brand, especially when the competing brand is very popular and you don't understand that popularity, I get that. But I do believe that the vast majority of those gamers, right, and that includes some influencers on these websites too. I personally feel that they're more invested in protecting the feelings of Phil Spencer and kowtowing to this man than they are about demanding great games on their platform. I truly believe that. I've seen some tweets. I've seen this one tweet of a guy going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over getting a retweet from Phil Spencer on Twitter, right? And bragging about, oh, PlayStation guys, they don't have no one to talk to like we do with Phil Spencer. And I'll be point blank honest with you. I follow these people for news and information. That's it. I don't need to be Shuhei Yoshida's friend. I don't need to be friendly with Jim Ryan. Especially with someone like a Jim Ryan who comes off as a very shady character. I don't know him personally. It's just the look of him. You know what I mean? He just looks like a shady character, right? I don't need to be and yeah, I don't need to be friends with these people. I don't need to be friends with executives. I don't have that desire to be in Skype calls with Phil Spencer. To I don't have that even if they're giving me information that would benefit my YouTube channel. I don't want to do that because at the end of the day, I don't want to be put in a compromising position where and this is natural. So I don't want to be on my soapbox, but I don't want to be in a situation where I have if I have to kind of shade my criticism of of um of a certain thing a company does in fear of losing that access, right? I personally would rather not have that access at all and just be myself. That's what I would rather have, right? I don't like I said I don't need to be buddy buddy with these executives. I just don't. I don't need it, and I do think that a lot of it has been the cause as to why you got. I mean, let's be real here. Like the Microsoft first party lineup for the last 3, 4, 5 years have been absolute dog shit. Has been poor. It has been on a much lower level than Sony has. Even if you don't like Sony, even if you don't like PlayStation and none of their games, I mean, you have to be a fucking idiot to try to convince the average person that the game that Sony has come out with over the last 5 years have that Microsoft has matched them. No, they haven't. Not even a little bit, man. So and I do believe that a lot of and I know there's some Xbox dudes who have kind of switched. There's some Xbox gamers who have pretty much said that either they've gone full blown heel, like a crap gamer, and or you have someone that like some of the people I know who buy and play on PlayStation as well. You know what I mean? And I do think and I do think, but to everyone else, I do think I hear a lot of this talk about, oh, Microsoft is back, they're back better than ever, this and that, and it's like, where was the energy when when they released when State of Decay came out, or State of Decay 2 came out broken, when Sea of Thieves came out with no content. You know what I mean? You don't they don't have the same energy for Microsoft that they do for Sony, right? And I always figured that if you have that much passion for something that you like, that you would be a little bit harsher on them because you expect more of them. But what comes with that is potentially getting unfollowed by Phil Spencer, and we know he's done that in the past. Several Xbox gamers have mentioned that in the past about them being unfollowed by Phil Spencer over comments that they made about the company because they were a little bit too real about the state of Xbox. We know this, and I do believe that a lot of them and their criticisms I think are affected by that. So why would I take someone who's been in Skype calls with Phil Spencer, who's been on game nights with Phil Spencer? Why would I take their opinion seriously? You know what I mean? Even some of the more you know I guess you could say level-headed Xbox guys, like for someone like Rand, right? I like Rand a lot, right? I like his content, I like his channel. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Rand Outdoor, right? Now, I don't know his statuses with Phil Spencer or nothing like that, right? I can only go by what I heard from the King Thrash interview that he made, where I don't think he mentioned Phil Spencer by name, but he did mention that there were some Xbox executives that weren't happy with his criticism of Xbox. You know what I mean? So imagine if you're running outdoor, right? You're known as the man with the million, right? You're well known for your gamer score. You're well known for being associated with Xbox. And you hear this news about some of the Xbox executives not liking the stuff that you've been saying about Xbox. I mean, I think for other people who may not be as strong willed as he is, I'm sure that will affect their criticisms. It has to. It would like, let's say if I'm getting benefits from Sony, like if I'm getting like exclusive demos, or my channel has been greatly impacted positively by Sony. If they're doing something that I don't agree with, and there's definitely been something that I haven't agreed with Sony over the past year and a half. You know what I mean? Like, am I willing to risk you know part of my revenue stream in order to appease some executives over in either in California or Tokyo or whatever the fuck? Like, I don't know. It's tough to say. Like me, I feel like I'm someone who can't be bought. But I mean, listen, like I'm expecting a stimulus check in a couple days. So like I said, I'm a dangerous man with money. You know what I mean? Like Bruno Mars says, I'm a dangerous man with money. So I can't say you know I can't say like 100% positive that I wouldn't let the the positive, um how would you say, the positive, like I don't know if I can let the possible income when it comes to having these relationship with these executives. I don't know if I can stop that relationship from affecting my opinions. And that's the thing that I see with a lot of guys on a much lesser level. What I see with a lot of guys on Twitter, right? They sit there, they praise Xbox up and down, left and right. They praise Xbox, and then when something bad happens, they'll criticize them, but they'll never tag them. They'll never, they'll never tag them. They'll never really criticize them that harshly. If it was something that Sony did, oh, it's a fucking field day, right? But when it comes to Microsoft, they're a little bit tempered with their criticism. Yeah, they don't keep the same energy, right? So like I said, I mean that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Just to recap, do I think that Bethesda games will still be on PlayStation? Gun to my head, I say yes. Does it matter? To me, frankly, no. Because one, I don't play their games, and two, most importantly, I feel like for fuck's sake, we need to have some type of exclusive content on these consoles at some point. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you can throw all this other bullshit at me all you want. At the end of the day, if you don't have new games to play on your console, I ain't buying your fucking console. So, so yeah. So do I think that Bethesda games are gonna be on PlayStation? I do. I personally, I think I do. You know what I mean? Like, especially if they have Game Pass, it will be on there. And even then, there's select few titles that I can still see coming on PlayStation, even without Game Pass. But I'm gonna leave it here. Let me stop the screen share. Let me get back to my setting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Thank you for watching. Please share the video if you can. I'm out. Peace.